letting me be here this morning, and good morning. Good morning. So I'm going to try and keep this short because I know we have Dow Constantine waiting in the lobby there. So I wanted to talk about my city very briefly. Tacoma, Washington, a city of 200,000 people. And I think of Tacoma to Seattle as Oakland to San Francisco. We're smaller, a little scrappier, unapologetic, and even coming to this meeting today, I say to myself, they are so organized. They have a president, they have a treasurer, they raise money. The Black Collective is kind of like the Wild West. We just kind of get up there, and sometimes we have an agenda, sometimes we don't, sometimes we freestyle, sometimes we fuss like a family, but at the end of the day, we handle our business. But I'm very happy to be here. So my city council right now, I am so honored and so proud to serve with these council members. And Victoria Woodard, my colleague, is here today. Our council ranges in age from 31 to 61. 2 African Americans, 1 Asian, 1 Portuguese, 1 openly gay man, people from business, from nonprofit, from education. It to me really reflects the entire community of Tacoma, and I think that means we're going to do some great things because we reflect the city, and everyone who has a voice, who needs one, is sitting at the table right now. And I'm very proud of that. So just to kind of cut to the chase here, we're here at an organization that supports minority businesses. So what has Tacoma done for minority businesses? As I bragged earlier in a very competitive tone, I'll admit that, we changed our Small Works roster last year, and it was very important for us to do something that had teeth. Now, as the deputy mentioned from Seattle, we had a lot of pushback from organized labor. And I received a letter from them last week saying, if you move forward with this, we will consider this a breach of a contract. And I said, do what you gotta do. Because it's important for me to help small businesses, because small businesses are the backbone of our economy. When small business does well, there's more revenue to hire more government workers. So we're not taking jobs away from government, we're creating a better economy for the city of Tacoma. And that is why we decided to raise the bar to 200,000. To remove the bonding requirement, because we know how hard that is for some businesses and how that keeps people from getting jobs, and also the net 10. People need to get paid. And that's very important to us, and so that's why I'm so proud of that legislation. But here's what else we're doing too. I heard you talk earlier about education, and it's interesting to hear that in any city across the country, we're facing the same issues. The graduation rates are not what they should be, and the achievement gap is all too real. Our children, especially our young black men, are in danger right now, and we have to do something about that. So in the city of Tacoma, we've taken this very seriously. We've created a program called Tacoma 360, and this came out of a summit 4 years ago in the city of Tacoma, where we have hired an executive director to align services that support families and children outside of the classroom. Because we know that so many of our students have challenges before they show up for school. How do we support families? How do we support students and make sure they get the services they need so they can compete in school? So teachers and counselors can focus on education and not do triage and social work. That's the kind of support we need for our students. We are also proud to announce that the city of Tacoma has now dedicated $100,000 a year to the College Success Foundation. We are going to give 20 scholarships a year of $5,000 each to College Success Foundation students who are youth and minorities to study education, engineering, education, nursing, science, and IT. And the reason we're doing that is that we want to make sure our minority students get the same opportunities to go to school. But we also want to educate our own, grow our own, and employ our own. That's incredibly important in Tacoma. We're the first municipality in the entire country to do that, and we are very proud of that accomplishment. We also recently passed a school levy, which I think is important for everyone to celebrate. So congratulations to every city that passed a school levy. So finally, I will talk about this very briefly. I know this could be a whole conversation, but we as a council identified gang violence as a priority in the city of Tacoma. And we know that we cannot arrest our way out of this problem. A few months ago, we arrested 36 Hilltop Crips that were suspected of gang violence, and that has been incredibly controversial, as you may guess, in my community. When the police chief told me about this, I said to him, I have to provide an explanation differently than another mayor would have to, because my black community wants to know what happened, why were they targeted, and what's really going on. Are we profiling? What's really happening here? You'll start reading about this a lot in the next few months as this goes to trial, but we know that prevention and intervention is a long-term solution to gang violence. We cannot arrest our way out of this problem. And so we're working very hard with families, with community leaders to make sure that we have prevention programs to keep kids from joining gangs in junior high school. And if they're in gangs right now, how do we get them out? How do we find them better pathways through education and jobs so that they can have a productive life? So I'll keep it short right now, but that's a preview of what's happening in Tacoma. I have a lot more to tell you about transportation and economic development, and I thank you for letting me be here today.